Do you use your smartphone a little too much? Maybe it could be hurting your eyes. Maybe it can be hurting your mind. That's what we're going to be talking about. Adam, you listening?
Did you say something?
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another, I love my smartphone, can't put it down episode. We're your hosts. My name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
And we introduce you to the MJ and Adam show. If it's your first time, welcome. Become the third friend in this conversation and get a nice earful of English, naturally spoken, as well as pick up some maybe new words, phrases. But the most important part, get that feeling, that flinky of English, because it's not something you can find in a textbook. Hey. Today, we're going to be talking about smartphone addiction. Smartphone addiction is a real thing. It's a real problem. It could be even a crisis within the human race or anyone who has a smartphone. Okay, so we all know smartphone, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Adam, what's an addiction?
I think it's something that you can't stop doing or stop yourself from doing, whether it be good or bad. It's something that it's just too difficult. And even if you try to, you can't.
There's a lot of more focus on a negative sense, I feel, when I use the word addiction. It's like something you do, yes, too much.
Right.
And then because you're doing it too much, there's a negative effect. There's something bad to it.
Right. Bad to it, but for you, it's giving you some kind of gratification, some kind of happiness, joy. And that's usually because your brain is releasing chemicals that give you pleasure from doing this activity.
Yes, exactly. So you'll commonly hear this word when you're talking about drugs, okay?
Yeah.
A bad thing. You know, drugs do a lot of hurtful things to you, a lot of harm and stuff.
Yeah.
But the person that is using that drug, usually, like we were saying before, has some good feelings. It sends signals to the mind, releases dopamine chemicals, so you feel good.
Yeah.
But in turn, hey, your life could be going down the drain. You're not looking so hot anymore. You're losing your friends. You're losing your money. A lot of bad things, okay?
Yeah.
Another bad one is gambling addiction, okay? Another one is being addicted to alcohol, where you have to drink too much, all right? So all these things are bad for you, but we continue to do them. And using your smartphone is a new one that is on the list, since the smartphone has become the main phone, the main way we all communicate with each other, talking or online.
Yeah, I wouldn't even stop at communication. I'd take it further to be like entertainment and just as a tool for daily tasks at hand. I mean, sometimes we watch movies, we play video games, we of course talk to each other, but I think less than the talking is more on the entertainment side, which is why it's gotten to this point.
Now, I'm sure everyone right now, most of you, probably like 80% of you, are on your smartphone watching this video. So, okay. But, you know, we just want to focus on the question of how much is too much? Because using this smartphone has so many benefits, so many good points, great points that are helping us in our everyday lives, doing things quicker, easier. It feels like when you don't have your smartphone, you're not whole.
Right. Yeah, that is so true.
So there's the question, of course. So we can't just put it down completely, right?
Yeah.
This is the main tool that many of us have, that almost like in this day and age that you need to have to be prosperous, to just almost survive, you to function. Feels like, right? But when is it too much? So Adam, where's a place that you see people using their smartphones when maybe they don't have to?
I think like walking in a dangerous place, and this has become one of my pet peeves actually, when people are walking in the parking lot and using their smartphone, because it's such a dangerous place. And of course, like, the driver is always responsible for anything that happens in terms of pedestrians and accidents and whatever. So that's not the place where you should be glued to your smartphone, I feel, as a pedestrian.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's like one of the bad places, just walking in a dangerous area.
Mm.
Other places like the bus or trains, I can understand. But yeah, dangerous areas on the road, walking across the street,
Oh
walking in
man.
the
Okay.
parking lot, like those places.
Yeah. Yeah. Those places, let's clear it out. Let's put your
Yeah.
phone away
Yeah.
so you don't get hurt and
Hmm.
nothing bad happens. We
Right.
don't want anything bad to happen to each other. So the place that I definitely say you mentioned is during the commute. Okay.
Yeah.
Here in Japan, it is very common to see many people,
Hmm.
thousands of people using the subways, using the trains to commute from their house to work every day, back and forth, back and forth. And usually those commute times are fairly long, from 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. It can get up there. And this is like the number one place when I go out, I see people with smartphone in hand, head down,
Hmm.
does not notice anything around them
Right.
of what's happening, right? And so, yeah, I guess it's a safer place, like you're mentioning, what a dangerous place, shouldn't
Hmm.
be doing it. Safe place, yeah, nothing's really going to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like, what exactly are you using that smartphone for, right?
Yeah.
So going back to like
Yeah.
the drug aspect
Hmm.
of it, are you
Yeah.
doing it just to make yourself feel good?
Mm.
Or are you getting something from it that can help you?
Yeah.
Because you can. That's what's so great about it. So I feel like many times I see people like on the train just like swiping away, tapping like crazy
Okay. Yeah.
because they're playing a game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You
Yeah.
can play your games.
It's
But I
fine.
feel like, hey, maybe you can ask a question. Is there something else more productive I could be doing
Right.
instead of just playing this game?
Yeah. There's one thing that happened recently since I started working. A couple of us guys, we were sitting at the table, and all of us, 5 people, have our smartphones out. We're all looking at our smartphones. Another
Yep.
guy walked past, and he's an older gentleman, and he says, "Can you believe this? 5 people sitting at the table, all looking at the smartphones. You guys don't know how to communicate?" So that got me thinking about our
Yeah.
conversation today. Like, is that part of the addiction? Not being able to
Mm.
communicate when we go outside to have a good fun time with our friends. We're all either, not everybody, but a lot of people spend the time taking photos, not to keep as a keepsake, but like to post online on social media, which
Mm.
is not bad. It's not bad,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah.
you're not really living in the moment. You're kind of just living through the smartphone and,
Mm-mm-mm.
and having the entertainment factor for the purpose of sharing on social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
like when the tool can become dangerous,
Dangerous.
right?
Yeah.
So like, there's the phrase, that pro gun people say, guns don't kill people kill people.
Yeah.
So it's okay, which in a way,
Yes. Yes.
you could look at it
Right. Right.
as the tool is made for maybe one thing, maybe it has multiple purposes,
Hmm.
and it's all up to the user
Right.
on how you use that tool.
Yes. Yes.
So and we can see many times, I'm sure a lot of the older generation will look at the younger generation, be like, man, this smartphone, man,
These
everyone's
guys.
just stuck, zombie smartphone people all everywhere,
Yeah.
which yes, I definitely understand.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it has helped humans kind of like progress in the technology level,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is good. But if we use it to make ourselves almost dumber, where we are putting in less effort because this new thing
Hmm.
is smarter than our brains and it's quicker. So why do we have to use our brains or make them smarter
Right.
when we have this thing? And I feel like that's when people, if they forget their smartphone at home or something, they feel like, oh, what do I
Yeah,
do?
what are you
Oh,
gonna
I'm not a, oh my gosh, like world stops, world ends, right?
do? So it's sometimes you'll be late for work because you forgot your smartphone and you need it to get to work, I guess. You know?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, some
Maybe
people
there's an
need it,
important document on there. Who
not
knows?
only that, like the commute, you connect it to your car if you drive, and it's
Hmm.
used as a GPS. So how are we going to get to places if we don't have the thing that's going to take us there? That's like the tool taking over the part of our ability to navigate through our own world.
Exactly. So see, there's many good points, but also there's negative points about the whole thing. And I want to just bring up, like, I've heard that there was some scientific research that was done where it explains that kind of multitasking is not too good for your brain. Say, example, you're eating lunch, like you were mentioning before, Adam, and you're looking at your smartphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could feel like, yeah, while I'm eating, I'm gonna like do some research, or I'm gonna do this thing, which is not horrible, but some sort of test was done to read the brain waves and read that it is actually detrimental. It's not good for your brain to be doing two things at once. Wow. Maybe you should try focusing on one thing instead of doing more, because it splits maybe the power or the focus.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
And then that could then in turn, when it's time to focus, so this is for like hardcore smartphone addicts, I believe. When it's time to focus on something, say you're driving, but in the back of your mind, you're like, what's happening on the smartphone? Depending on what kind of reason you're using it for. If it's for social media, that moves a lot. So you're maybe thinking about how many likes I got, what's the comments, or maybe I'm getting this message, I need to respond back to these people. When in reality, if we look back in time in our history, before cellular phones, before phones, keitais that we could walk around with, there was no option. So we never worried about the communication, the connection that we're possibly missing. So we were focused more on what we're doing.
Yeah, totally. I want to add on that, because there was this thing a while ago when smartphones were becoming more heavily used, where they called it like ghost vibrations, where you would be walking and suddenly you feel a vibration in your pocket. And you look at your phone and there's nothing happens. It's like completely off, no messages. And they were saying that your brain is functioning to like prepare you to get messages, so you'd feel that vibration in your pocket just so you can check your phone.
Yes.
And I think that's just part of that whole like thing you were talking about, where our communication long ago has changed to the point where our signals for communication are vibrations and chimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Exactly. So it is crazy, but at the same time, this is a double-edged sword, like 100%.
Oh yeah.
Because of, again, how convenient it is, how great it is accelerating humans on our intelligence and our technology, what we could do. But at the same time, if you use it too much, it's going to have a negative effect. We're going to go back to like monkey time,
Holding smartphones.
Yes. So just want to, explain everything in moderation. This is a good phrase that we have in everything in moderation, meaning don't do everything as much as possible all the time.
Right.
You got to split it up. Use it here and there. Use it when you need it. All right. Think about the other things that you could be doing instead of spending time on the smartphone. I get the weekly notifications of, MJ, this is how many hours you spent a day this past week.
Yeah.
And it scared me so much. It said like 5 hours a day. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been wasting 5 hours every day on my phone. I'm like, and at the end of the day, usually I'm like, oh man, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. I'm like, I'm so busy. But then the phone's telling me, you spent 5 hours looking at me, chap.
Friend.
So friend with a little like devil ears coming out. So I understand it could be a touchy subject for some people. Maybe some people don't feel this way at all, but definitely for everybody, I think you could step back, ask yourself a question. Am I using the smartphone too much? When should I be using it? When should I actually be putting it away in a place where I can't see it so it doesn't bother me? Because right now I need to focus and live this life, not this life. That's it, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and leave a comment down below. Do you feel you use your smartphone too much?
But that's it. We'll see you
On the next step.